Everybody.
Hey, YouTube fam, what's going on?
It's good to see you all.
All right, let me get my tea situated, my laptop situated. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you guys can hear me. All right, so we're going to be talking tonight about your why. Why are we talking
About
about
what?
your why? Why are we talking about why? So, do you guys know how when you set a goal and at first you have a ton of motivation and you're running right out the gate. You wake up every morning, you are super excited. There's a spring in your step for it. But then eventually you fall off the wagon. Maybe a few days, a few weeks later. Why do we do that, John Paul? We know that the end result is good and that it will bring us nothing but positivity. But why is it then we set a goal, especially like a long term goal with several steps and maybe several challenges involved, even though it's going to be so good for us? Why do we fall off the wagon?
All right. So think about you're gonna build a fire. For you city folk, we love we love using like lighter fluid or gas to get that fire going. All
I don't
right.
know. I'm from northern Michigan where we use flint
Where you rub
stones,
sticks
skillet, and
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do that.
So you want to get this fire going. You douse it with some of that lighter fluid. You throw the match on. Woof! Big flame, and it is off to the races
Yeah.
for like 10 seconds, and then it starts to diminish quickly because you don't have that sustaining fire, that fuel that keeps it in for the long haul. So that initial energy you have to start a new goal, to accomplish something, that initial excitement about it, it's not the lasting energy you need to
Mm-hmm.
get to the finish line.
Preach it.
So we got to figure out, and this is where you're going to help me out, honey.
Okay.
What gets you to the finish line?
Oh, okay. So you and I, let's just be honest. Um, we used to struggle with our long-term goals. Okay, short goals that we wanted to accomplish in a few weeks, a few days, no big deal. But bigger, bigger goals that we wanted to accomplish in life, um, things that came with challenges. We used to struggle with finishing them, going all the way, getting the types of results that we wanted. And I mean, we would sit down and we would have a conversation and we would get really excited and we would map out a plan and a strategy and a pathway to get there. But you and I used to fall off the wagon. Like we can just
Mm-hmm.
admit that, right?
Yep.
So we used to struggle before we realized, and this is a key thing that you guys want to listen to. Um, we used to struggle with setting big goals and seeing them through to the finish until we realized that success with completing a goal, at least for us personally, we have so much more success when instead of tying the goal to logic, we tie the goal to emotion. And
Ah,
instead of trying to operate out of our head, we operate out of our heart. So, and you and probably so many other people have heard of, studied about these things called SMART goals, right? SMART. Unless you're Homer Simpson, then it's SMRT,
SMRT.
right? So, SMART goals, that's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and then time bound. Okay, each of those letters means something. And a lot of people will tell you that that is where you start. All right. Start with SMART. You got to set a metric. Maybe it's an amount of money. Your goal is to save an amount of money. Maybe your goal is to lose an amount of weight, or if you're a runner, run a certain distance or in a certain time frame. And then a lot of people will tell you that you need to set a time frame for your goal. Like you must be here um, on this specific date. But we have found that what is more smart, what is the most smartest thing to do, is to not start with smart, but to start with why. So, yes, you need to have the SMART plan in there. You do need to specify what your goal is. You do need to be able to measure and track it. It does have to be attainable. Like you have to be able, like not flying to the moon,
Yeah.
right? And then you do need to set some sort of time frame on it, unless the time frame is by the time I die, right? But we have found that before you start with SMART, you actually need to start with why. So, what does that even mean? For people who have been listening to me ramble on, they're like, great, I start with why. What does that even mean?
All right. So I guess I'll paint a picture for it. Um, about a decade ago, my cousin approached me about doing a race with him. Like,
Yeah.
and he's a very fit person. He works out all the time. He was running constantly, and me not so much. So when I committed to doing that with him, my why kind of became my pride. Like I
Ooh,
didn't want to lose. I didn't want to be dragging. I didn't want to be behind. I didn't want to,
yeah.
I wanted to um be like confident in the run and also, for him and the other people we were running with. I didn't want to be the person pulling holding everyone back, okay? So that motivation for me, that is what got me up at 5 a.m. most
Mm.
days of the week, going out in the middle of winter in Michigan here, running 5 to 7 miles, just so that I had the endurance to make it through the finish line, literal finish line
Right.
for that race. Okay, so absolutely putting the why behind your goals, something that it doesn't just hit you up here where you can map it out, but where it hits you here, where it's tied to your emotions, it's tied to your fulfillment, it's tied to your
Mm-hmm.
success.
Mm-hmm.
Those goal setting styles are what really brought me through to the finish line and actually got me to the finish line at that race.
Yeah, no pun
Um,
intended.
yeah, so you definitely want to figure out the deeper reasons, the deeper why as to your goals.
Yeah, so simple definition of what is your why. I guess it would be the core purpose for why you are pursuing this endeavor. And so for smaller things like maybe you want to save up a few $100s to buy a new thing, right? Like that's a goal, but you don't need to have some sort of like deeply emotionally
Mm-mm.
rooted goal for something like that, probably. We're really talking about long-term, big picture, uh something that you want to do that will be quite a challenging task for you. Um, and so the reason why you should define it is it really acts, like John Paul said, as fuel. It's also your anchor. It's what you go back to when the going gets tough or things look a little bit risky or hairy or scary.
Yeah.
And it's also your root system. So I think about these plants that I have in my yard.
Mm.
Uh, and I try to kill them off, but these are tough little buggers,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like I try to kill them off, and then next year they just like come back with a vengeance, right? And like you said, like they bring their cousin, they bring their
Oh
uncle, their
yeah,
brother,
they
like they
multiply.
multiply. Um, and I try, but I am not getting enough of their root system out of the ground in order to properly kill them off. And so, if you think about that as like a metaphor, like some of these
Mm.
plants, some plants you look at them the wrong way and they wither and die. But I'm talking about those toughies that you can hack and slash all you want from the surface, and you can even dig down into their root system a little bit, but like you are not killing them off; they're coming back. And so that's really like what your why will do for you. If you are rooted in your why, then in your pursuit of the thing that you so greatly want, it doesn't really matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter how much life hacks and slashes at you. in the process or what you encounter or how tough things get or how risky the risk seems, if you stay rooted, firmly rooted in your why, that will be the motivation and sort of the thing that helps you to escalate from there, right? And so I think about physical fitness a lot when I'm thinking about my why as well. Like I don't just go out and run for myself. There are other reasons why. The ultimate result would be the improvement of my physical fitness, but that's not even a good enough reason why, right? The other reasons are we've done obstacle course runs. A lot of times
Mhm.
we will lead it, we'll put the team together, we're working out with other people, like our peers, our friends. And just like you said, like I don't want to be that schmuck at the back of the pack. Like
Yep.
I want to be able to have endurance to at least be in the middle, right? So physical fitness is always a challenging endeavor, especially when you're in your 40s, um, and you find out that you can't eat as much sugar as you want to
Yep.
anymore. So we've just found that if you're in this for surface level reasons, or at least that's all that is top of mind when you're thinking about your goals or thinking about doing the tasks that it takes to get you closer to reaching it, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. When things get too tough or too risky, you're going to quit. If what's top of mind is, well, I think I'd like to make an extra $500 a month, so I'm going to go buy an apartment building. And then the first tenant skips town and doesn't pay you rent for 5 months and doesn't leave a phone number and doesn't leave a forwarding address, like you will quit if your motivation was just a little bit of extra cash flow, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's give some examples. Let's give some examples of our why.
Oh, all
And
right.
so I mean like pertaining to real estate entrepreneurship. So we won't talk about like fitness or ministry or anything like that, but like let's focus on real estate entrepreneurship. What what's our why? Like why are we doing this thing?
Yes. So the bigger the goal, the more long term the goal, the deeper the more fixed that why needs to be in you
Mhm.
inside. It needs to be rooted very deeply, just like what Blair was saying. Um, the deeper those roots are, the stronger they're going to outlast, the storms or her shovel. Okay, so for us, we had two things that were essential that we discovered as we were pursuing this real estate and entrepreneurship. The two whys that really are keeping us grounded are freedom,
Mm,
fulfillment.
yeah.
Okay, so freedom, it's a myriad of things. I'll just cover a few of them. Time. We have two young boys,
Yeah.
and I like absolutely cherish spending my time with them, coming home, seeing them, not working all day, coming home exhausted at night and just putting them to bed. Okay. I want to be there with them. I want to have lunch with them. I want to go outside and play with them. I want to coach them. So that freedom of time, because when you're an entrepreneur, you create your schedule if you're doing it right. So creating a schedule that puts my family at the forefront of my time is vitally important to me, to both of us.
Mhm.
Okay. Another one is for us financial freedom.
Yeah.
We want to do things with our boys. We want to travel. We want to take vacations and stuff. So, not stressing over our bank account because we have to be on such a tight budget because we only make what we make and that's all we got.
Yeah, and things cost what they cost and so
Yeah.
much more these days.
Oh
Goodness.
yes.
Yeah.
So being able to, if we want to do a thing, that we can just say yes to it. We can go out
Mm.
on these trips, short term, long term trips. We can do these adventures with them through this financial freedom that we're gaining through real estate. Okay.
Even small things like saying yes to ice cream,
Yeah.
or just going out to eat, that it really wasn't that long ago that we would have had to say no to that, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
So another one is the freedom of decision making. Now I'm not beholden to, we are not beholden to um, a boss, a
Mm-hmm.
schedule, where like I'm there Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to or 9 a.m. to 5. Like we can make decisions and rework our business around those decisions. We have the authority to do that, where we're not skipping out on work and then having to make up excuses later for why we weren't there. Okay, so those are the main freedom aspects. Is there anything you want to add about freedom?
Yeah, and I think decision making freedom, freedom of decision. I don't really hear a lot of entrepreneurs list that. People talk about financial freedom, time freedom, but decision freedom, being able to make the choices of not just what you do in your job, but what you do when, like you said, what you do with your time, what you do with your day. There's just so many different levels of freedom, and I've had so many conversations with John Paul about how I thought there was something wrong with me. When I was an employee, I was very reliable. I did my job to the best of my ability. I was as good at it as I could be. I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I didn't like shirk, right? But there were so many different aspects of being an employee that I resented. I didn't get to call the shots with what I wanted to do, in terms of, like on the job. Well, I think that we should do this way. Well, somebody over me was like, no, this is the way we do it. But then also, I want to go to the beach. It's 85 and it's sunny and it's mid July. I just want to go to the beach. Or, we live in Michigan. It's, negative 85 and it's snowy and I just want to go skiing. So, those things are really important to me. And I realized I'm not an I'm not an employee. I'm an entrepreneur. Like I had that revelation right after I left teaching, when I was like, what was wrong with me? Like, why did the bureaucracy of, everything that I had to do,
All
why
the
did
hoops you had
all
to
the
jump through.
hoops that just didn't make sense, and it wasn't as efficient and it wasn't as effective? Why does that bother me so bad? Why can't I just go along to get along like it seems like everybody else can? And I'm just like, I'm not broken. I'm
Mhm.
just not an employee. I'm an entrepreneur. And when I had that revelation, I felt like I had breakthrough, right? So yeah, freedom is one of our whys, and then the other one you said was fulfillment.
Fulfillment.
Fulfillment. Talk about that.
Yes. So our aspirations through what we do in this business, a lot of them are not even related to the business. All right, there are things that are, and so when we talk about fulfillment, it's there's that internal fulfillment we have, but that's really not the main thing we're speaking to. The main thing we're speaking to is all of the people that we affect through our business. And that, the more you think about it, and for anyone getting into business, you have an impact on so many other people, and hopefully it's a positive impact, hopefully it's beneficial, or else they probably wouldn't be working with you.
Mm-hmm.
But we find, like, if we're taking like deals through real estate, we have our sellers. So we come in, they're having trouble selling the property, and we walk them through the whole process and we purchase that property. We give them that peace of mind and freedom that they're not tied to this property, and they can even benefit and get money from it. So we help them out. We have partners that we partner with who bring in the funds, who get certain interest rates and things like that on the money that we borrow from them. They're benefiting from this more of a passive income
Mm-hmm.
scenario. Okay, we have agents that we deal with, realtor agents who get their commissions through these processes. We have vendors, contractors that we hire to do the work, uh, companies that we purchase our cabinets through and all our materials. So many other people are tied to our business now that we can bring value to, and then they also obviously bring value to us.
Yeah, it's cool and it feels great.
Absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's the indirect fulfillment that comes, like, for example, we had a property in an area that it was a nice neighborhood, but the home had literally fallen apart. And it was just overgrown. The landscaping was just destroyed. The trees were falling over, and just it was chaos. Within 2 months of cleaning that place up, fixing it up, putting new siding, a new roof on it, painting the porch, ripping out all the old shrubs. I actually had neighbors like walk down the street when I was outside working, just to thank us for doing this, for making this blight in their neighborhood into a beautiful home, and also bringing up property values. It's a win-win. So there's so much fulfillment that comes through entrepreneurship, when you set your mind and your heart to doing something that is beyond yourself, and it helps and impacts people, even beyond our family. So
Yeah, there's, like John Paul said, there's indirect impact that you may never even know about when, when you have the opportunity to bless your community through maybe the services you provide, or, we bringing value to the communities because we're literally bringing up the property values to the communities. And just like the other day, we have a new flip that we acquired that we just started this past week, and the neighbor came over to you and said, "Thank you for cleaning up the trash outside."
yeah.
He was so happy that you just picked up the trash that had been left
Oh, yeah.
outside, and just different things like that. So that's great, and that fulfillment is a huge driver. So another thing is, it is the fulfillment of knowing that I can help so many more people due to the income that we bring in. And so, believe it or not, it's not always about the money, right? Like, the money is nice, but it's not always about the money. It's usually about what the money can do when you're going back to your why, right? Because if you keep it just surface level and you keep it about the money, well, when things get tough, like I said earlier, that's not enough of a reason. It's got to be really rooted in what can the money do. Not always just what can the money do for you, but what can the money do for other people. So we attend a local church, and we give to that local church, and that church, the church that we attend, has so many different outreaches. Like, their hands are in so many different other organizations that help so many other people in our local community. And so when we give to that, we know that we are giving to so many different capacities, from little itty babies all the way till the elderly, and everybody and every need in between. And then we're also able to make a global impact. So I noticed that, John Paul, you're looking at my board up here.
Yeah.
Give me just a second, you guys. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to show it to you.
Yep. This is excellent. You got it.
So I'm going to try to not
I'll hold
knock over my tea. Okay, thanks. Okay. If you guys can see this, this is our compassion board, and the reason why we call it our compassion board. So we've got the little kiddos up here. We've got some scripture verses, and then this is what we pray over. All right, so you guys see my board? Good. You can set it down now. I'll hang it up later. The reason why I call it our compassion board is because another thing that we are able to do with the income that we make is we're able to sponsor children through an organization called Compassion International. And when I was growing up, we sponsored a little girl, my family did, I believe from Uganda, and I had always, had it in the back of my mind, like throughout college and through my early years of teaching, like, as soon as I make extra income, I am going to sponsor a child through one of those similar programs. And I have those little things on the board because this is my office and also my homeschool room where I homeschool the kiddos. Just my kiddos, not other people's kiddos. Don't send them here. But we say prayers over the kids, and we talk about, like, this is where they live, and this is what's going on in those countries, and these are the continents that they're on, and etc. And one of my goals is that cork board is pretty small. One of my goals is that one day this whole wall, this is the side wall of the room, will be filled with the pictures of the children that I am able to support through that organization, due to the extra income that we bring in. And that, you guys, gets me excited. Like, that is what gets me fired up. Looking at those little kids' faces and thinking, like, I will not let anything go sideways, not just for my own kids, because if I can't afford to, support them on that monthly basis, what if they go back into the system, and what if they don't ever get picked up, or what if they don't get picked up for a year? And things are, as we know, a lot worse in other parts of the country. And so that's just a huge motivating factor of, I'm not going to let anything happen, because those kiddos that don't even know me are counting on me. And also the fulfillment of, I know that by supporting them, I'm supporting their family, like their siblings are impacted, their parents are impacted. So it is a wonderful, beautiful feeling. So before we move on, we do actually have a couple of questions and comments in the chat that I want to address. So, Smart Move Tigers, hey, thanks for tuning in. They have some questions. Do you have previous sales experience before starting working with real estate, or did you develop that after or during working? So John Paul and I are both teachers.
Yep.
He still teaches high school. I used to teach elementary school. I'm not actively teaching public school at the moment, nor will I ever probably be again. So no previous sales training, no previous experience with business or running a business or even real estate, other than like buying a house for our own selves. So no, we learned as we were going. So it's like ready, fire, aim, right? That was our strategy. And then let's see. Okay, you said a few more comments. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much, Smart Move. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Yeah.
All right. So now we get to like give you a little bit of an exercise.
Yeah, practical application
'Kay.
time. Let's do it.
We all know, love setting goals. We all love like putting future thoughts out there to prepare for the bigger and better things in our lives. But we also know that we all are pretty terrible at the long-term stuff, at following through.
Speak for yourself.
Whatever. So all of the things that we just talked about, those were our, like, the whys that we came up with that are driving our business forward and going strong, for that matter. Okay. Our finance, or the freedom that it's created, and the fulfillment that we get and can give through this real estate adventure. So now we're getting to, how did we come up with our whys? And here's the exercise we did. Honey, can you help me with this one?
I guess.
Okay, here we go. Honey, why do you want to start a business?
I want to start a business because I think it'd be cool to be my own boss.
Okay, but why?
Because I want to be able to do whatever I want to with my own time.
But why do you want to do that?
You sound like our children. This is called the But Why exercise.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Benjamin Clark. Okay, I want to be able to decide what to do with my own time, because I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with my children.
But why? Why does that matter to you?
All right, we're going to go deeper and deeper. Okay. Because childhood is short, and I don't want to miss a thing. Thank you, Aerosmith, for that quote. But seriously, childhood is short, and I don't want to miss a thing.
That's getting there. But,
Okay.
But why?
Oh, God. Cutting right to my heart. Because I know that if they grow up and I miss out on these precious years, I am never going to get them back, and I will regret it for the rest of my life. There. You cut me deep, Clark. You cut me deep.
So that's a lot better answer than, or a lot deeper answer than,
Right.
I want to be my own boss.
Right.
Okay. So this is an exercise. You can literally do this exercise with yourself, or if you've got a spouse or someone close, literally do that exercise.
Yes.
Just continue asking the but why question to get to the deeper meaning, the deeper truth. Because just like those weeds out in our yard, the deeper the roots, the stronger it's going to hold and the longer it's going to last through the hard times. Okay. So this is now a call to action for you. All right. So until we meet next week, you're going to figure out, you may already have goals ready to go. And I'm not talking the short term. So I mean like the bigger goals in
Big
life,
stuff.
big rocks. Okay. You're going to figure out those goals. And then you're going to ask the why question. Why do I want to accomplish that? And then once you've answered that, ask it again and get to a deeper understanding and ask it again. You might need to do it 3 times. You might need to do it 10 times. It's whatever gets you to where your response is something deeper than just your logical brain. That's when you'll have the connection. And that is the fuel that gets you to that finish line. All right.
Yeah, just keep digging deeper and deeper until you hit those heartfelt emotions, right? So, YouTube / wherever you happen to be watching this video, what's your why? We want to know. Why? Because we care? I don't know. Because we like you? Because we want to know. So, if you already have your why defined, awesome. Right now, right this instant, leave us a comment in the comment section. You know where to go. Otherwise, if you need to go through this exercise, then do it, define your why, and then come back to this video and leave a comment. We really want to see what people are out there endeavoring to do. And if you have any questions, you can drop those in the comment section and we will look them over and we can get back with you and give you our advice, our tips, tricks, tactics for how to craft your why. Okay. So comment below and let us know.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Had a great time with you tonight. And we'll pick it up next week. Of course, do all that good stuff. We'd love for you to like and subscribe to our channel.
All that YouTube-y stuff. Do it.
Because we've got a lot more good things coming your way. All right. We'll see you at the next weeknight workshop. Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Adios and good night and goodbye.